Alright, hello everyone. This is going to be a 100% tutorial, segmented 100% tutorial on how to run through Metroid Zero Mission. Zero Mission is a very, very fast-paced game, and there are a few tricks you'll need to know to get through it. I'm going to quickly dispatch of some zoomers, that way I can initially teach you how to wall jump. Because wall jumping is going to be a very primitive skill that you'll need to use throughout the entirety of the run. Well, throughout the first half of the run, I should say. Not the entirety, just the first half. Alright, that should be all of them. So to wall jump, you need to spin jump against the wall, and then press the opposite direction from the wall, and then jump, in that order. So it's a 3-step process. Hug. Oh, there's one more. Hug. Hug, then press the opposite direction. Hug, opposite direction, jump. The input viewer in the bottom right can give you an idea of how exactly I'm doing it. But it's a 3-step process in that order. Otherwise, you may end up messing up your wall jumps. You can also go back and forth. Or you can stick to one wall, which you can do merely by immediately pressing the direction where the wall is. So immediately after I press right, I press left. It's really, really important, I already mentioned this, but it's really important that you press the opposite direction before you jump, otherwise you'll just fall. Anyways, that's how you all jump. So, the most common enemy in Brinstar are zoomers. I killed quite a few of them before I taught you how to wall jump. They have 2 health, so you can kill them with 2 beam shots. There are various different patterns you can get in the first room. So, as you learn the patterns, try and keep in mind where the zoomers could spawn so you can be prepared to kill them if you need to be. For example, that zoomer was in my way, so I shot him. So often you'll see players morphing in midair because it's a little bit faster. So you can either morph and land on that platform, or you can opt to jump over the pillar and morph before you hit the ground. As a beginner, it's okay to it's okay to take a hit or two, but if you can't get down killing the zoomers, you can always feel free to jump over them. And sometimes there'll be a zoomer on this wall here. You can either shoot the door open and get hit, or if you're fast enough, you can actually exit the room before the zoomer will land on you, or before it will even drop. So Brinstar has a lot of vertical platforming. You'll want to stay on the ground as much as possible because you move half as fast when you're in the air. The more you play, the better your platforming will be and the faster you'll get. So I'm going to demonstrate my version of the climb and then a slightly easier version of the climb. Before I explain how to do it. So that was my version. Here's a slightly easier version. Oh, fees. There is another alternative if you're not a fan of wall jumping, but in this tutorial you'll be expected to know how to do both single-handed and back and forth wall jumping since I explained it. So, but for super beginners, if you're really, really not a fan of wall jumping, what you can do for this section is something like that. When you get up to this point, try and shoot out this block, it'll save you a missile later on. And missiles are very valuable resources earlier on. Alright, I'm going to run through the climb one more time. Because there's one last thing I would like to explain. Sometimes an enemy will be there, so feel free to shoot it. For these 3 wall jumps, make sure they're not too high. Otherwise, you might not be able to get that 4th wall jump in. So keep them, I would say, 2/3 of the way through. Like I mentioned, there can be different patterns of different enemies. Sometimes you'll get hit. So learning the timing for maneuvering around that Ripper and that Zoomer isn't always easy. Alright, so up and coming is the Kingworm. It takes 3 missiles to shoot. Sometimes you'll get spikes. There's really nothing you can do about it. Spikes is really, really slow, so hope he doesn't give you any. After he's dead, you're going to wait for Charge Beam. Alternatively, if you're really, really spicy, you could try and shoot 2 missiles into his eye on the same frame, and that'll do double damage. That's pretty difficult, so I won't be explaining that here, but I will put an image set in the description below. That way you can have a look at how it might look. So in 100%, we actually grab Charge Beam. There's a skill with the Charge Beam where if you jump and spin, you'll pseudo screw attack. And that'll do enemies damage to enemies, often killing the Zoomers in Brinstar. So we're going to take advantage of that in this next room. So make sure to hold the Charge Beam. That Zoomer at the top of the room will usually be there, so be careful. As an alternative, if you really can't get the strat down, you can just do a couple of beam shots and wall jump off the left wall, jump off the right wall there. If you can't hold a pseudo screw. Up and coming is Hive Room. Hive Room can be pretty difficult. It takes 3 missiles and 2 beams to destroy each hive. I usually try to get my shots in before I get my beams in for this first hive. Next, what we're going to do is lure the bugs from the other 2 hives. And I'm going to fire 1 or 2 beam shots at these hives just to reduce the number of shots I need later on. Hive Room can be extremely difficult. So you might want to take extra practice in learning to correctly maneuver around the bugs. You'll need to figure out what works for you, in which the order that you fire the missiles and the beams in. Sometimes it might not shoot fast enough, and you'll fall down. You can just go around, and it should be fine. Grab the E-tank and the missile tank while we head over to bombs. And if you're fast, you can shoot out these blocks. Alright. So up and coming, there are a few ways of doing this next room. I'm going to demonstrate both of them. The first is you can fire a missile. Oof. Huh, that didn't help. Fire a missile and hold a charge shot. As soon as you enter the room, walk a little bit and jump. You'll land on this platform. The other method is shoot the door open, do a jump into the room, and fire a missile. That'll kill the Zoomer so it's not in your way. Then you can either get a running start and jump onto the platform, or you can do a 1, 2. You can do 2 wall jumps to get up here, and do a third one to get through. Ah, whoops, I didn't explain this room properly. The zoomer will either be going to the right, or he will be on the top platform. Make sure you missile him out, wherever he is. Fire a missile at the door. And grab bombs. So we're really, really low on missiles here, and we could use some more health. So we need missiles to progress for Kraid, so we're going to refill here, just for safety. Make sure to grab the missile behind bombs. I usually input a direction after I've heard the second bomb sound. Jumping out of morph is a little quicker than walking out of morph, so keep that in mind. These bugs here can be really, really trolly. They can either be really, really nice to you or really mean to you. These zoomers will occasionally be in your way, so feel free to missile them. You don't have to hard a charge beam through this room. I kind of just sometimes do it. Left, right-handed wall jump. Alright, so this room's actually really hard. You're going to shoot out this block, land on this platform, and then you're going to walk off, morph in midair, and lay a bomb. You're then going to wall jump and grab the missile. If you're slow, this block will respawn and you need to bomb it. You'll then want to line yourself up, bomb jump your way out. You then just exit the room as normal. Where are you? Ah, here you are. If you do it really quickly, it'll look something like that. And you'll beat it. If you fail to get the bomb jump, you'll fall to the bottom of the room. You can either wall jump here, jump up here, or wall jump up there. There are a few ways of getting out of here. Alternatively, if you don't like that particular wall jump, you can do this wall jump instead. Or if you're not a fan of either of those, come on, there we go. Do something like that instead. There are a bunch of options for this room. The absolute fastest option is that. So hold a pseudo screw through this room. As you get to the bottom of this incline, you're going to shoot the door, and then hold another charge beam and jump, and you'll kill that zoomer. Alternatively, if you're not quite getting fast enough, you can shoot a missile, and you'll have more time to charge your beam. If you shot out this block earlier, you won't need to spend a missile here. I didn't for this particular save state, so I have to. I'm intentionally taking damage here, so these zoomers don't hit me a bunch. As soon as that second block breaks, I usually unmorph. That way I can shoot out the screen with a missile. And then maneuvering through this room can sometimes be a little difficult. You want to land on as little of the platforms as possible. Alright, for this segment, we're going to do something similar to when we were in the first room. We're going to jump, shoot the door, and then morph while you're in midair. This will reduce the amount of time spent to a minimum. Then going to roll through the door, lay a bomb, roll back, oh no, and fall down. So I'm going to demonstrate this one more time. And then take the elevator down to Kraid. That's it for my Brinstar tutorial. See you next time.